Yes! I'm reviewing Ristar for the Sega Genesis. This game is such a gem. Whoa, is it snowing right now? Well, winter's almost ending, but that's so weird that there's friggin' snow. I don't know. Enjoy the review. Ristar for the Sega Genesis is one of the best games on the system. Ristar was a very fun game, and unfortunately, this was the only game in the Ristar series. It's a shame that there were no future games planned for Ristar, because this was truly an epic and fun game on the Sega Genesis. The gameplay was very interesting. The Sonic the Hedgehog games were fast-paced and fun games. Ristar was more of a slower-paced type of game, but the level design was amazing and the platforming elements were awesome. And what really made Ristar unique as well is that you press the A button to use your hands to attack enemies, which was an interesting gameplay twist. Anyhow, I truly think that Ristar is a great game, and I'm very happy to review this video game here today. So, without further ado, let's get this video game review started and review Ristar for the Sega Genesis and review this gem of a video game. Let's get started, shall we? Ristar for the Sega Genesis is a very fun game. Released in 1995, this game was a very good game for the Sega Genesis. What's actually quite interesting is when Sega was pitching ideas for Sonic the Hedgehog, Ristar's design choice was considered. Sega later turned that design into a character called Ristar and gave him his very own game. Ristar for the Sega Genesis is very fun. The visuals and level design are amazing, and the gameplay is great. Ristar for the Sega Genesis is the only game in the Ristar series, unfortunately, because that's a shame because Ristar is truly a great game. It isn't as good as games like Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's still a good game to play, and whenever I play this game on Sonic Mega Collection or Sega Genesis Classics, I always play this game from time to time.
Mr. Wee, Superman is jumping off the balcony. Stop him quick.
So as I was saying, Ristar for the Sega Genesis, what? Superman is jumping off the balcony, Pikachu? I gotta stop him. He's not the real deal, he's just a doll. He's just a doll. I gotta stop him quick.
No, Superman, don't do it.
I gotcha, you doll. You're not jumping off the balcony. I gotcha, Superman. Whoa, he's flying! No! Yeah, you still gotta learn how to fly. That's why I didn't want you to jump off the balcony. Okay, since those shenanigans are over, let's talk about the development of Ristar, shall we? Got a problem with me? I'll spare you just this one time. Ugh. In late 1994, Sega was pitching for Ristar to be a successor game to Sonic the Hedgehog. The game didn't sell as well as Sega expected because the game was released 3 months prior to the Sega Saturn. In a 1994 Electric Gaming Monthly interview, Sega's marketing staff, Lisa Best and Terry Tang, said Ristar was not designed by the same Sonic programming team. The same staff that worked on Ristar would later work on Nights into Dream on the Sega Saturn. Ristar was a very good game, but didn't sell as well as Sega expected. Most critics feel that Ristar is a very good game, and for the most part, I agree.
Take this, you piece of shit. This is for looking at me funny earlier, you stupid Pikachu. Ugh. Ha ha ha. I like torturing you at my own expense because you're just an asshole. Haha.
Alright, since I pretty much beat up on Pikachu now, let's talk about the gameplay of Let's talk about the gameplay of
Ristar's gameplay is very enjoyable. The game has 2 levels in each world and a boss battle. The boss battles were pretty enjoyable in this game. The levels are a lot of fun. Ristar's gameplay involves grabbing things. By grabbing certain enemies and items, it adds a new gameplay style that is unique only to this video game. And I feel that is the reason why Ristar was different than any other platforming video game. Ristar's levels aren't easy though. At times this game can get difficult, but by using your arms to attack enemies, it makes the game so much more fun to experience. Ristar's level design is cool, as well as there's some water worlds and lava worlds and many other unique worlds that makes it such an interesting and accessible video game. Ristar also has a cool password system, which was a really cool addition in this game. There is one password where you get to select certain levels. That feature really makes the game so much more fun to experience. All in all, is Ristar a good or great game? I strongly feel that Ristar is a great video game, but not the best video game I have played on the Sega Genesis. I still enjoy the Sonic the Hedgehog games more, but Ristar's accessible and fun gameplay really makes it unique, which is something I can respect about this video game.
So, what are my final thoughts about Ristar for the Sega Genesis? Wow. If you were to pick the top 10 Sega Genesis games, Ristar is easily on that list. Why is Ristar such a great game? Like I've stated numerous times in this video game review, Ristar has such a unique gameplay style that makes it very different to other Sega Genesis and other video games. And it's really sad, it's really frustrating, and it bothers me that we never got any future Ristar video games. Ristar for the Sega Saturn, Ristar for the Sega Dreamcast. Those would have been games that would have been great supplemental series games. Do you guys realize how The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and Donkey Kong are a series that helped push the envelope for Nintendo? Ristar could have been that second or third series that could have pushed the envelope for Sega, just like how Nights into Dreams did for them on the Sega Saturn. All in all, what is the final score that I give Ristar? Well, I think it's fair that I give Ristar an 8 out of 10. This is a great video game, and if you guys are younger or haven't played older games like Sega Genesis, I strongly encourage you to play Ristar. It's a great game, and if you guys want to get this game on collection discs, there's always Sonic Mega Collection and the Sega Genesis Classics. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video game review, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and adios. See you guys later. So as I was saying, Ristar is a great game. What, Pikachu? Superman's gonna jump off the balcony? He's a doll, he's not the real thing. I gotta stop him quick! So as I was saying, Ristar for the... Whoa, Pikachu!
Come on, what the fuck?